What's going on, everybody? It's Traxxas Mike coming at you today. I had a wonderful Labor Day weekend. Had all kinds of RCing going on. I got lots of videos to edit and broken RCs and stuff going on right now. Pretty much everything's broken. And today I'm going to show you how to put hardened spur gear on the 1/10 scale Traxxas Rally. The first thing you're going to want to do is come in and take this one single bolt out, and it's a 2mm hex wrench. That out. You can pick this up, and now you can see your spur gear. And as you can see, mine does not look hot. Ooh, yeah, there's the pretty spots. Next, you're going to pull out this single motor bolt right there. And that is a 2.5mm. A little harder because it is screwed into a locking nut. A nylon locking. I told you don't need to Loctite this because of that locking nut, and I haven't. Maybe that's why my spur gear's tore up, huh? Maybe. Okay, so we got that screw out, this screw out. We're gonna twist and pull on these motor wires. They have not been unhooked in a while, I'm sure. Okay, now I can move this around enough to get it out, I'm thinking. Because this part here was jammed down in there where it should be. Right there. There's a little gap where it slides in, but it's just packed with sand from driving on the track and stuff, and it was just hard to get it out. So you probably don't have to unbolt your ESC and stuff to get your motor out. Just kind of keep prying at it. It'll be something like that. Just keep prying at it and it'll come up. Or maybe even just, and you probably won't have as much problem with me. I was just doing it barehanded. So okay, you can flex this up, and that little guy just pivots on that pin right there. You don't need to take him out. Yeah, you can sit him right to the side. If you want the motor off, got one more 2mm bolt. Take out. Gonna hold the motor wires to the body of the car right here. Which I like how they did that. That's kind of 2.5mm Allen wrench, and this bolt here. Next, with the 2.5mm, you want to take out that one and this one on the bottom side of the car. After you remove them screws on the bottom and the screws from the top, you're going to want to just grab a hold of the rear end here, kind of jiggle back and forth and pull backwards, and it'll come apart. Get to your spur gear. You can sit this whole back half of the car over somewhere else, out of the way for now. And right there is the spur gear we need to replace. And you wiggle it a little bit, and the whole unit will come out just like that. Whole spur gear unit out. You take out those 3 bolts, takes that off, you slide your new one on, tighten them up to your whole unit here, and then slide everything right back in the back side. Make sure your bearing and everything's on there. You want to check and make sure your bearings are moving all freely. I already did all this off from camera. Alright, and you're just gonna slide her right out. you might have to twist, because you can see right here, that's where you're pushing in. You got to make sure this lines up. Either turn your gear like this, or spin the front tires or the drive shaft, or whatever, to make your spline there line up. Push that in, and there'll always be a little tiny small gap. As long as your bearing is seated all the way in there, you can see it. You probably can't see it on camera, but yeah, you can see if it's already all the way set in. Guys, I love the look of that alloy, hardened, hot racing, hardened alloy spur on there now rather than one of these. But we always love to keep these in the toolbox just in case. One more thing. I used the old socket head cap screw bolts that came on. I did have these pan head bolts with this special little well, I can probably take one out and show you guys. I had these in the package. I had this little guy, a bevel for that pan head screw to fit into. Well, I thought it was just maybe for if you had this for a different situation or application. Nope, it was crooked, and I could see the gear when it was spinning going, you know, vibrating a little bit. Well, these pan heads, when you put all three of them in, you tighten it down almost like you would a car tire, you know, a little bit on each one, you know, a little bit on this one, this one, this one, all the way around as you're getting, because when it's in there and going around, if it ain't right, it sounds really horrible and grindy. Now, I know it's a metal gear. They make noise anyways. But yeah, it should sound no louder than that. And it was horrible with them other screws in. So that's just another little tip. Things you learn. Alright. Hook your motor right there. Hooks on that little bolt that's down for your adjustment in your gear mesh. Now I want to set my gear mesh. I'm going to get the bolt in there and start it a ways. Alright, and back down to that final step, putting that gear cover on, and my one final screw back in. Now, if you had to Loctite your gear, do not go out and run this immediately. Let it sit for 24 to 48 hours. Let that Loctite get a good bite down, you know, and your stuff won't come loose anymore. That's how you change a spur gear on one of these bad boys. See ya.